the Federal Constitutional Court.
The Constituent Assembly, led by the movementist-leaning James Wapahabulo and deputized by Professor Victoria Mwaka, deliberated the draft constitution for 29 months, from February 16, 1993, to its conclusion on August 25, 1995. The constitution was enacted on September 22, 1995. However, there was a group of Constituent Assembly delegates, or MPs in today's terms, who refused to sign the constitution and walked out of Nile Merchants Conference Center, where the Constituent Assembly held its deliberations. These dissenting delegates were mostly members of the National Caucus for Democracy, which was specifically tasked with discussing political pluralism.
The issue of the multi-party democracy and political parties was not thoroughly concluded. Some of us objected to including the movement political system in the constitution. So we thought that the constitution was already made, and we would send a message by not signing it that certain issues still remained to be concluded.
Initially, about 53 delegates declined to sign the constitution, but many eventually changed their minds and signed it. In a joint statement, the dissenting delegates noted that the National Caucus for Democracy has, after 2 days' debate on the enactment of the new constitution, decided that it will not endorse into the new constitution in its present form. The National Caucus for Democracy has decided to take this decision because we object to the constitutionalizing of the movement political system in the new constitution. The National Caucus for Democracy also disagrees with the refusal by the Assembly to endorse a federal system of government for the regions which want this form of governance in their areas. Daniel Omara Atubo, the Constituent Assembly delegate for Otuke, reflected on the moment of not signing, saying there was a method to their madness.
The movement system was still imposed in the constitution. The movement system was still imposed on the people of Uganda. We thought that by promulgating the 1995 constitution, the multi-party democracy and political parties should have been released and started functioning immediately.
Other notable dissenters included Cecilia Ogwal, the Lira municipality delegate who passed away on January 18, 2024 at the age of 77, and Ben Wacha, the Oyam North delegate. Most of them were either Uganda People's Congress or Democratic Party leaning, despite political parties being banned at the time.
Who believe in the rule of law, who believe in constitutionalism, who believe in good governance, who believe in multi-party democracy, to implement. Laws can be said to be just wishes and pieces of paper. But the most important is, how is it implemented?
During the heated deliberations in June 1995, delegates of the National Caucus for Democracy had initially stormed out but later returned to discussions under the condition that their views would be considered in the draft constitution rejected by the NRM caucus. We promised to work together with other delegates in a spirit of cooperation, hoping that our colleagues would consider their positions and allow the reopening of discussions on federalism, multi-party democracy, and the election of parliament and the president on the same day, the delegates said in the September 22, 1995 lengthy statement. The chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, Wapahabulo, in a reflection paper published in 2001 on Uganda's experience in constitution making, said delegates were under no obligation to sign the text. This was a significant provision because withholding signature by a member, as eventually 40 or so did, was not detrimental to the validity and effectiveness of the constitution.
Who is there to implement it? You see, there's a saying that you can have a very good piece of meat to sell in the butchery, and people will buy it. But as long as that good meat is being sold by a leper, nobody's going to buy that meat.
Looking back after 30 years, Omara Atubo, who later served as State Minister of Lands, reflects on the constitution and whether a new one is needed. Betty Mudondo, NTV.